Welcome back to 5-Day Crypto. My name is Chase. Today we're going to look at Chainlink. We're going to look at Link on the daily chart, the 5-day Gaussian channel, the weekly chart. We're going to look at targets, pullbacks, specifically where could breakout levels be? Specifically, where could price targets be to the downside, to the upside? If you like the video today, give us a thumbs up. Follow us on Telegram if you want more content than what you see here on YouTube. Links below. All right, so on the daily chart, we got a little bit, we're holding this top of the Bollinger Band here, right? So that's a bullish sign, right? We go back in history, look at July, right? We just hold the top, and any pullbacks kind of tend to roughly hold that 8-day EMA. You can see that right there in the orange. The 21-day, if you close below the 8, usually you fall right to the 21 there. So in a bullish up move, that's what you want to be looking for. So there you go. So that's the daily. Obviously all altcoins are going to depend on what Bitcoin does right now. If Bitcoin can manage to hold its 21 week, I think altcoins could get very bullish over the next handful of weeks or so. So be watching for that. And speaking of weekly, let's go to the weekly chart, right? So the weekly chart, Chainlink is trying to come out of our kind of a despair mode that we've talked about. We kind of broke under our crucial previous summer top of like the $18 to $20 area. And that's what we're fighting to get back above now. So that is also coincidentally right where the 21-week EMA is. So it's kind of a big level for Link. You can see also kind of the resistance of some previous candles before we broke that with the devil candle, right? We broke it through it, and when you break a big support, you come back and retest, and usually if you're going to get rejected, that's not going to bode well for the next several weeks, as you see here. And this is not specific to Chainlink. This is pretty much altcoins. When you see this kind of lose this kind of macro level support, it's not, you're going to go into deep dark depression if you're not too careful. So that's what we're looking for. Chainlink can start really running again if we can take this level out. And it's not just one level, right? It's multitude of things cooking together, making some fantastic resistance walls. We have over a month of support flip to resistance. We have the 21-week EMA holding at the same level. At the same time, also roughly coinciding with our summer local top back in here, which was our previous all-time high, right? A lot of big things happening in the next, hopefully, couple weeks. We want Chainlink to break out of this level. And then, if we come up and, hit this kind of this 50-week and then come back, we want to hold this as support. We need to flip that back as support and then keep working our way back up like this, okay? So that is what you need to be watching for in the next handful of weeks. But we'll keep you updated. Let's go back to the daily real quick. So on the bigger picture on the daily chart, you can see this kind of formation that's going on here. So ideally what we'd like to see over the next handful of weeks is kind of a play out of this, right? We want to kind of see this bowl. We want to have this kind of this lid at the $28 top, and then maybe we get some kind of loose fitting cup and handle formation here, rejection kind of at this local top, and then or just a melt right through, and fantastic signs ahead if that happens. But work our price back up here, come back up and work your way up like this, right? And then you come back down and do this kind of fanciness. This would be kind of the ideal scenario for Link to be breaking out in a big way. Could it happen that way? Something similar. Could it not happen that way at all? Of course. So you don't want to be too deterministic in what you're thinking based on anybody on YouTube or anything that you even see in the charts, right? You want to always look at both sides of the coin. Have the angel devil on your shoulders at all times. If you start looking just at one, you're too biased, bullish or bearish. That's when you can getting into trouble, because you'll start ignoring the other side of the picture, and that's usually when that picture strikes back, if pictures did that. Okay, so let's go look at the 5-day Gaussian channel, because that's what we're all here for. Not really. So let's look at it. We're red. What does that mean? Are we dead? No. That's usually you're underneath the 5-day Gaussian channel. Usually the best buying opportunities for years to come after you get out of it, right? And what are we doing right now? Well, we're trying to get out of it. We're re-entering the Gaussian after dropping out of the bottom. So we want to see two 5-day closing candles. We have the first one, this one right here, closing in today, 9 hours. So if we can somehow manage to close above 17, that would get us a foot in the door. Then we want to see confirmation of another candle closing in here, and that would simply increase our odds of us, ending this despair downtrend and starting to work our way back up. And then, after you do that, your next target is going to be the median line on the 5-day Gaussian, which is $25, right? You also, you want to look at these psychological levels. Nice round numbers are going to be key if they also coincide to, moving averages, Gaussian channels, those kind of things. So that's our next target. If we close a second candle in, 5 days from now, right inside this channel, we could turn this back green over the next handful of weeks if we start working our way back up to the 20s. That would be ideal. If you see us break above the median line, 25, which will probably be roughly that, it might be 24 or something like that. When we get to it in the next handful of weeks, you can see kind of May possibility, maybe something like that, unless we get super bullish, right, and just start melting to the upside. I mean, that would be ideal. But so if we break that, then our top side of the channel is going to be our next target. So those are the things you want to be watching for. That we've held resistance back in September of 2021. We held resistance back in November of 2021. And we want in 2022 to, break that to the upside, return green. And then, on any coin, if your channel is red, you start to see price action on top of your channel, and your channel turns green. Your odds of an explosive move coming are off the charts. Okay, that's kind of why this channel exists. Okay, so let's take a look-see. Right, so go back in history here. I'll put on log here. Let me take off the Bollinger Bands because they skew it. There we go. And so your channel's red, right? You work your way back up, resistance, support, and then resistance, and you just wait for the channel to turn green and wait for the price action to be on top of your channel. And then who cares if it goes down a little bit? Do you understand? This is the rocket fuel. Are you worried about another, a 5% drop when you got this coming ahead? And most, not just Chainlink, this is any coin. If the 5-day Gaussian channel is red, you wait for your price action to be on top of the channel, you turn back green, you buy, close your eyes and buy whatever price. Not financial advice, but this works out like 99% of the time, okay? If you want to be real safe, wait for this, okay? You have plenty of upside coming. Even though you're going to miss, say you missed buying at the bottom, right? You maybe missed a 100% move. Guess what? There's probably 1,000% move coming and over the next couple of years, right? Not in the next 4 seconds. But, this is the uptrend. This is why this is identified. Look at this. All right. This was likely to happen again if this scenario plays out. We were red, price action on top, turn green, kaboom, right? Kaboom. Technical analysis, kaboom. All right. The weekly, let me look at a couple different indicators for you, and then we'll end it. We'll end your misery. I get it. So the RSI, right? We're still weak. RSI, you want that high. Relative Strength Index, right? We're really the lowest we've ever been. Despair. When you're the lowest ever in something, that's kind of the despair where a lot of people give up. And I have a feeling a lot of people gave up on Chainlink somewhere this year was probably the ideal scenario to give up for all the, the paper hands. Okay, so the RSI. We've bottomed out, kind of double bottoms here. Now we're trying to work our way back up. On the weekly scale, this is ideal. This is what you want to see. We're moving back up. Our momentum's cranking. So we got momentum on our side. Now we hope that Bitcoin does not, fall out of bed and bump his head and, fall asleep. We need Bitcoin to just stay steady, calm, and cool, collected, and Link can continue its move. Okay. So that's the weekly. How about the daily? We already have our pedal to the metal, right? Our momentum is cranked out. So we have the power to do it, right? This is you've rested, you're ready to hit your exercise, your gym, and you got your energy. This is what you want, right? You could stay up here for a while. It doesn't have to come right down immediately. Although Chainlink, tends to be a little, hit or miss on the gas there. Okay. So, just keep that in mind, and we will get to it when we get to it. Okay, so patience for Link. All right, so what else do we got? Well, we talked about that. Your ADX and DI is probably the most overlooked indicator that not a lot of people watch, and I highly recommend it. it can tell you massive amounts of information for the bigger picture. Okay, so how about the daily? Well, look at this. The last time we were in an uptrend on the ADX is in the orange here. That's average directional index. You want that facing up if you're a bull. Obviously, if you'd want it down if you're shorting. But so we had a cross back in March, late, just a handful of days ago, right? So this is a good sign. However, I love the ADX and DI on the weekly for any coin. So use it on the weekly for the big shifts. And where do we got here? Well, we're starting to creep up with the ADX and DI, right? Slow move up. That's good sign. Look at our green one, right? This is our positive DI. This is our negative DI. You want these to cross. You want the green to cross upwards, right? So let's go back and look at our last massive cross. Let's start about summer 2018. It's been a hot minute since we got going, but slow creep up. Look at this, right? We got a cross, and then it lasted for a while, right? Over a couple years. We didn't really cross there. We flirted with it. We stayed on top. You never saw green underneath, right? Still bounced there. There was our the bad stuff. May, right? I think we're all real familiar with last May. There was our cross. Obviously these are lagging indicators, so it wouldn't have prevented you from getting out. But maybe would have saved you a little bit if you would have done it right at the moment. But it's hard to predict what's going to happen. Hindsight's always 20/20, so don't beat yourself up too bad. We'll get back to it. I'm just telling you, this is the point. You remember how catastrophic this was in May, right? This will be equally an opposite explosive move if we get this cross on the weekly, right? And this could take another handful of weeks, right? We need Bitcoin to calm down. We need the alt season, right? The alt season is likely to come in the next, as long as Bitcoin holds its 21 week and, it remains relatively bullish above 46K, then I think you're going to see an alt season, at least the start of one in the next, 3 to 6 weeks or something like that. And then you'll probably see a lot of coins start to cross. And if we do, you want this to cross and separate in a big way, right? You don't want to, dilly dally around like this, right? You don't want to cross one week and go back down the next week. You want to cross and separate, divergence away from each other. That's the ideal scenario. And then, link to, at least all-time highs again, if that starts to happen, okay? So good things ahead, just patience. I know it's rough. The weekly Gaussian channel still is red as well. There's our 21-week EMA right around that $19 level. Flip that, and then good things can start to happen for Link. So leave you with that for Link today. I think we covered everything I said I was going to. If I didn't, you can slap me down in the comments. The crypto fear and greed index, we're at neutral, so I'll take it, right? We've been in fear and extreme fear for a long time. Let's put on the yearly chart, right? So we're making a new top here. We want to just hold this kind of rough area here. You can see these kind of the divisionals around that 50 in neutral. We don't want to fall back down into fear, okay? If we do that, Bitcoin's likely going, back under 40. If you see Bitcoin back under 44K, you're not going to want to see that, okay? If you go back under and start closing under 44K again, this is probably a bull trap that we're experiencing now, and we have some more despair to go, although I don't think that's super likely. So, happy times ahead, I think, over the next couple of weeks. We'll see that. Don't get too focused on the day-to-day. I think the markets are, for the most part, designed to, trick you as best as possible. So if you're finding it rough, just, take a break. You look at it 100 times a day instead of 200 times. All right. Quote of the day, oh wind, if winter comes, can spring be far behind? So, I love quotes because I feel like you can interpret them. Each person interprets them slightly different or completely different, right? So to me, this has nothing to do with weather. I feel like this has something to do with always looking at the bright side of things, right? So if the dark days are coming, there's good times right behind it, right? So that's it. And card of the day, I had to do it because I just got the model of it. The 720S, I know I have I have 5 model 720Ss on my desk, but this one is Paris Blue. Probably the coolest color I've seen on a 720S. I really like it. If I could find one in real life when I get one, it might be this. And I'll show you the model here in a second. But there's the rear. All right, you ready? All right, let me see. For the 4 of you that are still watching, there you go. Looks, it's the same, right? This one's got yellow brakes, which I love, and yellow interior. And this is one of the highly spec models, so it's got like the real carpet and carbon fiber on it. Amazing. All right, I'll leave you that. 15 minutes. Too long? Too short? I could go for an hour. Although I have to have some water. My mouth is dry. Dry.